Right guys, welcome back to the channel, episode number 5 of the Pro Series with Tyler Smith. It's me, Josh Maley, 6'6", IFBB Pro bodybuilder and ex-Mr. Universe. So in today's episode, we had a killer delts and arms session, high volume, high intensity, fantastic pump, and a really important session for Tyler with his physique category requirements. Awesome session, followed by a brilliant interview. Tyler is a man who has overcome some serious obstacles with extreme kidney issues in his past that he's overcome, and since overcoming them has been one of the most successful UK pro physique athletes that we have seen. A killer physique, a fantastic human being, and a fantastic episode. So check it out, enjoy, and let me know what you think in the comments. Yes guys, welcome back to the channel and to another episode of the Pro Series. I'm here in Muscle HQ, somewhere that I used to train regularly, so it's really cool to be back. And I'm with physique competitor Tyler Smith, who is one of the best physique competitors the UK has. Recent placings just outside of winning his Olympia qualification last year, and he's just entered prep for this year. So we're doing a delts and arms session today, again running through exactly what Tyler would normally do. I'm really looking forward to it because obviously as physique competitors, that upper line, the delts, the arms are super important. So it's going to be really cool to see what he does to kind of work on those areas. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a good session. So we'll get stuck in.
You're retired? Because you are fully retired.
Yeah. Still there.
I'll always ask.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd have gone back and done different?
I don't think so. I don't really think about kind of regrets or anything. I think, I got asked this on a podcast. The only thing I said really was like, I wish I'd been more confident to document the process.
Right, yeah.
Because obviously coming from this is strictly just thinking like social media numbers, but starting from like when I was at 80 kilos, to then being 150 plus. Yeah. Like if I had that.
Yeah,
on record, like the potential, like sort of following could be enormous. Yeah. So aside from that, but I didn't have the confidence, and also you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like so many people talk the talk these days. It's like, oh, I'm going to like get massive. I'm going to
they sort of
get my pro card.
They sort of set the journey out in front of them, and then just don't actually really follow it through. Yeah.
So I've always been like more of a doer than a talker. Maybe a bit more cardio. But I don't know, that's because I'm like enjoying that change in things now. Because,
What did you find easier, putting on muscle or getting in shape?
Probably getting in shape, and I enjoyed it more as well.
Did you?
Yeah. Off season is what killed.
Trying to push that weight so much. Yeah.
Like if I could get better to the extent that I need to get better, and not get as heavy, I'd do. I'd still keep competing. But it's just not. Not feasible, so
that's the only thing that I don't miss now. Coming down from heavyweight, not having to push those boundaries all the time.
Like your margins.
I could quite happily live like this all the time, and
because obviously you got weight cap now.
Yeah, we do now. Yeah.
Like where are you in comparison to that when you step on stage?
I'm really close.
On it, yeah.
So like. When I did Miami last year, when I weighed in, I was over.
Okay.
So I was given 45 minutes to make weight.
Right.
So, and the only reason I was over is because we'd front loaded the carb load. I'd pushed it a bit too far. I still made weight, but even when we weigh in and then back load afterwards, I only have like half a kilo wiggle room. So now we've got to that point where I think it comes from my sort of open days. I managed to retain quite a lot of tissue on my legs. So now we're having to make that trade-off we really back off the legs, so then I can afford a bit more up top.
Oh, it's an interesting game, isn't it?
That's the thing. That's the problem when you're playing around with a weight cap. Especially if you're really close to it. There's not a lot.
Because you don't want to be like so much over that you then have to suck down either with direct or water cut and then obviously sacrifice the look.
It
and
just
obviously
ruins
for you as well.
Just ruins
that's
the look.
Impossible, I suppose. But regardless, like just the look can get so screwed up. Like what was the spark? What got you into bodybuilding? What put it on your radar? What got you in the gym?
Do you know what? And it's probably going to sound really sad. I used to watch wrestling.
Okay.
And I used to look at the physiques that wrestlers had, and one in particular, I used to like John Cena.
Mate.
And
I think anyone could play there.
I used to look at his physique, and I just used to be like, do you know what? I would love to just be able to look like that one day. And it was actually my brother, he's younger than me, he started training before I did.
Right.
And a few months went by and he was responding and stuff, and I'm like, hang on, you're supposed to be the smaller brother here. And I said, no, come on, let's join a gym. And that's where it started, really. I mean, I was probably quite late to the gym scene compared to nowadays. I didn't start training until I was 23 years old. Whereas obviously nowadays we've got lads joining the gym at like 14, 15, 16. But that was where I got into it, really. But I had no concept of competing, bodybuilding whatsoever.
Like just having that role model.
And I remember the very first time I bought, it was a Flex magazine, and I'm flicking through, and I actually saw a picture of Ronnie Coleman. I had no idea who Ronnie Coleman was back then, and I opened it, and I was like, that can't be real.
What the fuck?
I was like, no way. That I mean, AI didn't exist back then, but I was like, no, that's got to be Photoshop. There is no way there's a human on this earth that looks like that.
I remember the first time I saw Ronnie Coleman, I was like, disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. It's too much.
Look, his veins everywhere.
Fast forward 10 years, I'm like, fucking hell, I would lose a leg to look like him. So what's your current training split across the week?
So I do a 2-week rotation because we're only doing legs once every 2 weeks, which, to be honest, we'll get to a point and that'll just drop. They'll drop off altogether. So in week 1, it's chest ones, shoulders and arms ones, back twice, and legs ones. But then in the second rotation, do back 3 times.
Okay.
So 3 times a chest and a shoulders and arms. And again, that's just down to the requirements of the division. Because feedback all the time is more back, wider back, you know, and everything else. So
again, because of your height, like that's because obviously the improvements you made, I know from when you last stepped on stage, that was a serious change from the rear.
But you've got, as you know yourself, you've got to listen to what the judges are telling you. There's so many people that will get judges' feedback and they just ignore it because, well, no, I enjoy training chest and shoulders, so I'm going to get more and more of that.
Which is fine, but like you just have to accept that your places aren't going to change.
So you've got to show them that next time you step on stage that, oh yeah, look, he's listened.
Especially someone like you who is in that top bracket now, like they actually notice you. So they're going to remember. And they're going to know if you've got better. Especially if you're standing in front of the same judges as well. Because as you start to, you know, get familiar with the league and everything else, you stand in front of certain judges. Certain judges like your look, others don't, you know. So that you get to recognise the judges that do like your look, so then you want to compete in front of them again. So then if you could show them that you've improved from their feedback that they gave you last time, like you say, you're already in their eye then. Definitely. You know, with regards to that training volume for delts, I think the higher. I can't really say why, but I just know I've always favoured.
You know where you get that like deep achy pain from the pump afterwards.
And I just think like lifting super heavy, it's just more strain than anything. Like I almost feel like it becomes more of a mechanical movement rather than a muscle contracting movement. Whereas I think like if you can, like on a shoulder press, I'd never ever go below 8 reps. I'd always try and do a few more. And like laterals as well, like 15. kind of plus almost.
On your big movements, I think between 8 and 12 is a pretty good sweet spot. It's something I've paid more attention to as I've got older as well. When I was younger, you know, we all used to sling silly weight around and everything else because, you know, we wanted to see what you can push, how far you could take it. But
you're also unbreakable when you're young.
Yeah.
And like, that's something I've appreciated a lot lately. Like my shoulders, touch wood, are in a really good place. And just like the day-to-day feel, like, you know, going into sessions, not having to worry about that and, you know, not putting them in compromised situations.
It is about training smarter. You know, because you get to a certain age, if you have a serious injury, that's it. It's game over. You know,
and even if you don't, even if you have a niggle, if your training's compromised for a period of time. You know, it's like people who kind of get back to training too close to being unwell. Like you're just sort of prolonging.
You're just running
that
it down
recovery.
Again.
And like you're not going to be getting as much out of it.
You probably find this with a lot of equipment because of your size. You don't necessarily fit certain angles, but I know, like we tried that one last time. I'll normally then just jump onto there for 2 sets. Only because it provides a completely different feel on your shoulders. Because it's more of a front press. So it's like similar to a Viking press. It just hits the shoulder for me because it converges at the top.
No, I didn't mind that one. I think Nate's had a bigger problem than that with me. It just takes a bit of getting used to.
He's not a small lad either.
He's just fucking thick.
I know.
He's too thick.
He's bigger than the machine is.
I know,
but yeah, we'll find a comfortable weight. And then it's just a case of 2 all-out sets. Just getting that squeeze at the top then.
No, I like it. Like, again, I think with like the side, just with everything really, like there are certain things that I feel like people almost like think there are rules now. Like you shouldn't do like 3 or 4 sets is like max volume, whereas we've just done like 6 or 7 there. And then like you shouldn't do you don't need to do 2 shoulder presses. Like again, it's on a needs basis. Like you want to and you need to build your shoulders for your class. Why wouldn't you? If you've got a specific delt and arm session, it's not that you're going to be doing loads of heavy work outside of that. Again, we're on a Saturday today, so you've got, I presume, tomorrow off. So recovery's there.
It's because we're like, especially in the men's physique division, we're trying to create as much width from there to there, whilst keeping the waist nice and small.
And make out even
because it's all about V-taper. Because I listened to, it was an interview on YouTube by one of the top American judges last year, and they wanted them to break down what they look for in the men's physique division. Number 1 is structure. They want the wide shoulders, the small waist. They're looking for that V-taper. Number 2 was muscularity, to obviously to fill that out, and then number 3 was condition. So, which then again, then that starts to make you think about how you tailor your prep and everything else going into that division. You don't want to be pushing
so hard to condition that you then lose that
if you lose the muscularity.
Translate.
But again, even when you're first setting out, you almost have to have a very, and that's why it's good to have someone look over you as well if you're working with a coach or whatever, to have a very honest opinion of whether your structure actually fits that division or not. You know, because if you're narrow-shouldered and wide-hipped, men's physique isn't the one. Then, you know, you need to
just slamming on some sides.
Exactly. Take a few years out or something.
So you had a pretty good run as a super, as a class 1. What year was it that the kidneys kicked in?
That was 2015. Now you see, this is probably where my mindset comes into it, which we could talk about in a sec, but I don't actually think I had a very good run as an amateur. I thought as an amateur bodybuilder I was quite poor. But obviously looking back, because of the kidney issues and stuff, that obviously, you know, transpired later on. That was why I couldn't get in great condition. I got in really good condition the very first year I competed. Then after that, it just started going downhill. Obviously, unbeknown to me, I didn't know what was going on underneath. But then the kidney thing came to light in 2015. So I'd already been competing for sort of like 5-6 years. That came to light in 2015, and obviously I was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease. We just, you know, I just had to shut everything down, and it was just a case of self-preservation after that. I knew I was going to need a transplant. They told me that. It was just a case of trying to sit it out as long as possible, you know, and trying to make things last whilst we could.
Yeah. So I always ask, like, kind of what were people's biggest obstacles, and I imagine in your bodybuilding journey, kind of getting through that.
Yeah.
Like at the time, like you said, it was just self-preservation, kind of getting through each day until you knew where you stood with things. But even during that period, was there like I'm not done kind of mindset, or like I can't even put myself in your shoes, like, you know, being in such a sort of like, I suppose, serious position health-wise?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of just the unknown.
Okay.
It was a lot of having to deal with, you know, what's coming next, or not knowing what's coming next, because obviously I was diagnosed in 2015. I didn't actually have a transplant until 2018. So I spent 3 years obviously being monitored closely, having bloods done all the time, obviously trying to find me a match for a transplant and everything else. And to be honest, it was at that point I was totally done with bodybuilding. But not the gym. Okay. Because I still loved training, you know, and I think there was probably a degree of keeping up appearances as well. Yeah. You know, it was obviously back then, you know, I was bigger than I am now. You know, and you're always, I suppose sometimes in the gym as well, you're always known as like, oh, the big guy.
Yeah, it's a massive identity that comes with it.
Yeah, it is, and it's almost like a fear of losing that identity as well. So I did go through periods of being in here and not necessarily really wanting to be here, just going through the motions, you know, we train, you know, it's X amount of days a week, that's just what we do, with no real direction, if I'm honest. It was just a case of sitting and waiting to find out what was next. I don't know about you, biceps has always been one of them exercises of body parts I've just never really connected that well with.
My struggle so much, but now my exercise selection is dictated by what I feel. Yeah. Over like, you know, I do a lot of cable work to actually kind of feel that.
To be honest, that's probably how I've looked at most of my training over the last couple of years. Yeah. If I jump on something and I don't feel it, I'm not doing it just for the sake of it. Yeah. You know, just because that's what you should do.
Just because.
Yeah, I think if you get that mind-muscle connection with something, you're so much better off sticking with that rather than.
I think it's like a trade-off, isn't it? I think you earn the right to listen to your body. Yeah. Because like I've got clients who are like 60 kilos wet through, and they're like, I can't feel it, and I'm like, you've not got any muscle.
Yes, because you've not got to that point to feel it.
Like, how can you feel something when you've not even got the muscle there?
It's not there.
And like, but again, like when got into the gym, we were indoctrinated into your squats, your deadlifts, you know, and then, you know, when you're a young or newer lifter, like I had this literal discussion the other day. I was doing a hack squat, I can't really feel it. I was like, what else is working? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like your legs are working. Yeah. You can't avoid that, whether you feel it or not. They're going to be doing shit. Yeah, of course, and then like, again, because he has skinny legs, as you build more muscle, then you're probably going to start being able to connect with it. I never my glutes always and they're never great, but like they're always really bad. I was like, I can never feel them, and that's because I never really trained them, and I never really trained them well. As soon as they start getting a bit more size, I was like, oh, hello. I know what I'm looking at now.
Was there anything that you could pinpoint, any exercise that made that connection?
I really like the 45-degree hip extension.
Right, okay,
I get a really good squeeze on that. And that's like a staple. And again, like for like lower back health as well, then that's a nice combo.
Right.
And that sort of led me into being more confident with like stiff legs, RDLs. But again, like you got the Nautilus hip thrust here.
Yeah.
Like that's the best hip thrust.
Yeah.
Like that definitely helped. And again, just taking your time, like rather than going, you know, plate up every fucking week.
Yeah.
Like actually loading it smart
Yeah.
and sensible.
Yeah. But like what you said a second ago, go back 20 years, 70% of this stuff didn't exist. Yeah, because like you say, we were just sort of pushed into this gym environment where it's like, no, it's barbell presses, military presses, squats, deadlifts, you know, everything free weight.
Turnover rows.
Yeah, we were told, no,
rows.
stay away from machines, don't use machines.
I know. I remember like when I started getting a good run on the Smith machine, I was like, this feels so like wrong.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm like cheating.
Yeah.
And now it's like the first thing everyone programs.
Yeah.
My final question is, what does success mean to you?
See, that's a difficult
Very
one.
open, and you go with it however you feel, mate.
In terms of what? Bodybuilding?
Anything and everything. Life, however you want to interpret it.
For me, success is, I don't think you can necessarily gauge success in monetary terms or titles that you've won or anything else. For me, I think it's just feeling content and happy within the life that you lead. You know, I think we all have different levels of success or things that we want to achieve in life. If you've ticked those boxes, then you've been successful in what you've been trying to do. You know,
I agree. Like it's a hard question. I like to end on it, especially after you've trained and your brain's probably not aware. I like to really fuck people over with that one, but no, I think that content, being proud of what you've done.
I think nowadays sometimes, you know, it's very easy to put a number on it. Oh well, you need to earn X amount.
I want to be a millionaire.
Yeah, well, you need to do this. You need to turn over X amount, or you need to win this or win that. Doesn't necessarily define what success is. I suppose it depends what you set out to achieve in the first place.
Everyone's going to have different, you know, levels in terms of what they deem successful.
Yeah, of course they are.
So
yeah.
And are you on the road to being successful? Are you feeling, you know, how do you feel about that journey?
If we're talking about bodybuilding, then I will have ticked that box if I can qualify for Olympia. I will be, you know, super content then. That's the last part of the chapter in the scrapbook that I'm waiting to do, and then that book can be closed. In terms of general life, I'm just very happy.
Good.
You know, I just wake up. I feel very fortunate to wake up without any. Obviously, I have my own health problems and things like that, but I don't necessarily look at them as a burden. Yeah. You know, it's just something that I've had to deal with. Yeah. You know, I think we're
all given our challenges, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I think if you can wake up, feel good about things, then you're winning at life, mate.
Definitely.
So, thank you very much. That was awesome.
Cheers,
really
bud.
Good session.
Thank you, mate.
Fantastic interview. This is going to be out. I'm going to put Tyler's details below, so you can follow him on Instagram. I'll try and remember to put your coaching as well there. So if anyone's looking for a coach, obviously Muscle HQ, the gym we trained at. If you're in the Colville or Midlands area, or even East Midlands, please check it out. And again, mate, thank you so much.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Awesome episode.
Thank you.
See you on the next one.